there, kinfolk. We are back with our third interview of the behind-the-scenes cast and crew of Chonos and Kin. So we have Tim here today. He's going to be talking about himself and his character a little bit. And then we're also doing our mic test tonight, so audio quality on the next videos should all be better. So yeah, without further ado, Tim, who are you?
My name is Tim Paxson. I am one of the crew, one of the kin for Chonos.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah. Yes.
Product placement. Website's like right here.
Click on the link.
Yep, click. Okay, so I'm gonna go through like the standard questions I went through with Whitney and Andrew. We called the channel Chonos and Kin. I say we loosely because I came up with the idea. I was like, it sounds good, and kind of sent it to you guys. And everyone's like, yeah, that works. But for me, it was like the time aspect, the family aspect, getting together. We're not staring at a screen or hundreds of miles away. We're together in that kind of like friends and family setting. Is that what you kind of are hoping that the channel kind of does?
I hope our channel becomes a group of friends that turn into family.
Fair.
And we all just like really jive together, and we make this as fun as possible.
Yeah.
And we have a good time, no doubt.
Right. And the whole thing of it is like, I think I sprung the let's fucking record it on everybody.
Yeah, it was like, oh, this is an idea. Hey, we're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
I do that sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so our stuff isn't necessarily to get the likes, which is always cool.
Right.
It's more so kind of like this vlog, if you will, of us just fucking playing D&D.
Yeah. If people love it, they love it. If they don't love it, they will.
Right. Yeah. If it's not sexy enough, Tim will come shirtless.
That's right. Nobody wants to see that.
Okay.
Maybe they do.
Who knows? Maybe you're going to be like that, daddy issue filler for the for the D&D fans. So you played D&D back when D&D was of the devil, right?
It was satanic.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what drew me in.
Fair. So we're talking 80s, early 90s?
84, 85.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's when you got introduced to D&D.
When I was introduced to.
And then if you were telling me something about your characters, like an Oathbreaker Paladin, right?
Yeah, my DM, we followed the rules very loosely.
Right.
And my DM allowed me to be an anti-paladin, and my steed was a fiery bone, skeleton horse. And we had artifacts. I had the Hand of Vecna, Eye of Vecna.
Okay.
I had giants, storm giant strength and all kinds of stuff. So we played fun, and all we did was fight major devils and Tiamat and stuff like that. So
okay.
So
back in those early days when there was people weren't branching out so far from the core D&D content.
Yeah, we were far from a competitive type thing.
So when I came to you several months ago, it's you should join us for D&D.
Yeah.
Were you hesitant at first, or was it man, I had so much fun doing that, I want to do that again?
Yeah, one of the things after moving back here was what do you do to meet up with people? I'm not in high school anymore, obviously. So what do you do? And I was like, man, I should just find some card shop where they play D&D and stuff like that, and just try and meet up with some people or Warhammer or whatever. So it was like, oh yeah, this is great. We hadn't met and known each other for very long, but I was like, yeah, that would be cool. And then if we actually had people that would buy into it also, it's like, oh, cool. Not just being chained in the basement playing D&D.
Right, because then people start talking.
Then it's weird.
Yep.
But I also, in my 20s, so in 84, I was 14 years old.
Right.
And I was in my 20s, we had another group of friends got together and started playing D&D on Sundays. We'd watch Charger football.
Nice.
And play D&D and eat breakfast and, drink beer all day long and just have a great time. So I've had a couple rounds of D&D, and it's just fun.
So it seems to me that's where you have your good friend memories at times, right?
Yeah.
Not saying it's all of them, but you have.
No, the D&D in my 20s was all the guys that I hung out with going to the bars and working out and all that stuff.
Okay.
So it was a group of friends. There was like, I think 8 of us.
Okay.
And we would just get together on Sundays, almost every Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I don't know. We're adults now, and that sucks. So like every Sunday, I think about like trying to do stuff every week. I'm like, dude, I'm tired on Wednesday.
Yeah, I didn't have responsibilities.
Right.
You know, so it was a lot easier.
Yeah.
Times changed.
And that's the one thing I kind of keep reiterating with this channel is like, we're adults with lives. We have myself and Whitney obviously have a child together. Brandon has 2 kids and a girlfriend with 2 kids.
Yeah.
You've got grandkids that live with you, and then Andrew lives with us, so I kind of have another child, right? So there's going to be ambient noise, and it's kind of like all part of the experience. I think like it's reminiscent to me of like the old barbecues when I was growing up, where it was like red cooler, blue cooler, don't touch the blue cooler, but everyone's there together.
Yeah.
You may not be all in the same space,
Yeah.
but the whole family's together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the one question I asked everybody so far is like the other part of the stuff we're going to do is like some board game stuff. So the first unboxing I'm going to try to put up either this weekend or early next week is I'm going to unbox Twisted Cryptids. It just came in from Kickstarter.
Okay.
But what's a game that you're looking forward to playing at some point for the channel?
So the reason, the reason why I befriended you is because I wanted to play Dante's.
Already using me for my stuff.
Yeah. There was it was all materialistic.
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
beginning. But Dante's Inferno, we were talking. I can't remember how we got on the subject, but it was like, oh, I've got a Dante's Inferno Kickstarter coming. I was like, man, that would be amazing. So that's the one that really pulled me into like jumping into board games with you. Obviously, we haven't played it yet. We've only had one or two sessions of board games, and that was the other game that we were playing.
Yeah, we did Nemesis, I think, the first time you came over, and then the Elder Scrolls board game.
Yeah.
We didn't get to finish it, I think, but...
we started it.
Yep.
And that one was fun, too.
Yeah.
It is fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and Dante, I think I should get it end of this year or beginning of next year, depending on how... Everything right now in the board game world is dependent on how much China is tariffed, right? So, yeah, awesome. So Dante's the one I'll have to have you there for the unboxing of that one. I think we'll do that one together because that's something like you're excited for. So like we can both be like, "Holy shit, that's cool," and everybody else will be like, "It's a piece of plastic."
Yeah.
But
I was so excited. I read the cliff notes about the whole poem.
The epic saga of Dante.
The 5-minute cliff note for the 24-day
journey through hell.
Yeah.
So we're going to turn to your character, Bew Chacca.
Okay.
Why don't you tell us first what class Bew Chacca is?
So Bew Chacca is a bugbear monk.
Okay.
And the reason why I chose monk is I wanted to be a monk in my previous D&Ds, but they start off so weak. I didn't want to go through that journey.
Right.
So this one was like, okay, you know what? Let's just do it. I'm going to do it. And then you came back at me saying, oh, you don't have to be a human. You can be a bugbear. And, historically, bugbears were killed bugbears. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, that'd be great. And then you told me they're like 7 feet tall and
they have a reach of 10 feet. So like melee, you're hitting 15 feet away.
So the bugbear part pulled me in real good. And, previous D&Ds, I wanted to be the valiant human, strong in this. And this one's like, nope, I'm going to be that oddity. And so I chose bugbear monk.
Nice.
And then Bew Chacca, he's tall and furry. He sometimes...
Right.
So, I don't know where I got the name Bew Chacca from, but I'm sure you can put it together.
Well, so it's funny with the name Bew Chacca. There's a game called Path of Exile. It's kind of like Diablo. It's an action RPG.
Yeah.
And I created a monk, and I named it Bew Chacca after you were talking about that.
Nice.
And then Aiden's like, I want to play with you. What should I name my character? And his character's like Dew Chacca. So, or Chew Chacca or something like that. Yeah.
That's funny.
Awesome. So, without giving too many story secrets away, what what do we know about Bew Chacca so far?
So as a kid, Bew Chacca's camp, they were a peaceful, farming, handyman type village. Some mercenaries, human mercenaries, came through and raided and decimated the village. My father was killed. My mother was taken, so she's disappeared. And Bew Chacca ran. He was scared. 10-year-old, bugbear, fire, fur, run, run, get the heck out of there.
Yeah, something starting to smell real bad.
Yeah, or real good.
Yeah.
So he bailed.
Yep.
And then he, after days of running, he found himself at the stairway gates to a monastery, or citadel, not a citadel, but a monastery.
Right.
So he sat there for days, and eventually they let him come in.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that started years of training, which there was ups and downs, right? Because an angry kid starting off now to this monk that's kind of trusted within your order.
In true kung fu movie style,
yeah,
he was given a broom and told to be quiet and sweet.
Right. Was there like an 80s montage, like from 10 to where we are now at like 30-ish?
Yeah, he carried water buckets with spikes on his elbows so he couldn't lower.
Had to wax the floor.
Yeah, exactly. Had to walk on tissue paper. Hard to do with long fingernails and toenails, but so of course it was all about black belt theater.
Right. At one point, the dude that killed himself jerking off was Carradine. Carradine was there training.
We got matching tattoos.
Right. What is something that Bew Chacca's searching for? Like in this campaign, if there was a scene or something that could happen to even help him reach that inner peace more as a monk, what do you think he's secretly searching for?
Well, I think he'd be looking for the truth about his mother.
Okay.
She's gone. Maybe not dead. So he's definitely looking for closure there. He knows his father's gone. So closure, which would bring more inner peace. And I think that would get him past the anger portion of his personality, and get him into a peaceful, true monk lifestyle.
Okay. Yeah. And this is something that the players don't know about. And they're not watching our videos quite much yet either. Yeah. But there's an interesting thing that Bew Chacca does from time to time after a battle.
So Bew Chacca, he's a crafter.
Mm-hmm.
So he is crafting brass knuckles out of different creatures' vertebrae.
Okay.
So he's taking their vertebrae, crafting them onto his knuckles, and he's just searching for the strongest beast.
Right. So this isn't something out of malice. This is something almost out of respect. Like, you were a worthy enough foe for me to take a piece of you and add you to my...
Yeah, you will help me accomplish my victories in the future.
Okay.
It's respect to the dad, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then we're going through, actually the same day we're recording this, to do a world building kind of introduction, where we are in the world, how we kind of got to the point in time we're in. What so far has interested you based on your backstory? I know I haven't given much as the DM to you guys yet, but based on the information you know from your backstory and the map you've seen and stuff like that, what is something that's kind of drawing you in already to this story?
I think the major drawing is just the kin, you know.
The camaraderie.
Yeah, finding a group to have fun with. I mean, in D&D, I love the battle, so that draws me in immediately. And then the growth and like, we know nothing about what's going to happen, so it's just the adventure, the mystery.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what's going to happen too.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, we've got one page of story so far, right?
Right. One page of story that's only you. So.
Yeah, and something that we in the past, everything was full disclosure about every character, and this one we know nothing about each other.
Right.
And
this isn't a group of adventurers who are at a bar drinking together, I'll get pulled into an adventure. This
Right.
is people from all over being called,
Yeah.
demanded to this location first,
Yeah.
and so your first interaction with each other is going to also be your first interaction with the story. So
Yeah.
it keeps the suspense.
Yeah, and if you were a team that was together forever, you're all aligned the same.
Mm-hmm.
Goals would be the same,
Right.
and you would know everything about your friend. Whereas
Right.
this is going to be complete mystery. You know, we might have a character or two, or all of us don't get along,
Right.
or you know, chaotic evil, chaotic good, you know, neutral, all this stuff.
Right.
So, without knowing that, part of the adventure is to get to know the other people.
Yep.
You know, pry about their past, get them. You know, they might be upset with you that you're acting. They might be.
So my goal was to kind of make this like a book, right? The author knows the intent of all of the characters in the story,
Right.
and is going to try to individually lead them all to what their goals are.
Yeah.
But there's always somebody that's a thorn in the side of progress
Right.
for you individually.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you may not agree with what Brandon's going to do or Andrew or Whitney's going to do because you're kind of just that stoic
Yeah.
monk.
Yeah. Or they
And
might hate me.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And then we get to see who's stronger.
Yeah. Bew Chacca.
Right. Just bitch slap from 15 feet away. Okay. Well, I think that was a good intro to you, Tim.
Cool.
I'm looking forward. So the 28th, I think, is when we're recording the first actual, well, session 0. So the
Yeah.
introduction of all you guys and the introduction into the story.
Yeah.
And that's also going to be the first one that's going to be kind of behind a paywall, so to speak, because we have a Patreon. And in the Patreon, I said you get a week early access to all the videos.
Yeah.
So it'll be on the Patreon first. You'll know the story. You don't need to
Sure.
go watch it,
Yeah.
but these people do.
Yeah, of course.
Um,
They'll love it.
So this was another behind the scenes video. It wasn't Shane painting and talking or talking and painting. Another interview with Tim. You can follow us at chronosandkin.com. We're on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Patreon at chronosandkin.com. Just, positive affirmations of how great we're doing. If you tell us how bad we're doing, we might just delete your comment. But yeah, in 3 weeks, you guys will have access to our first session. Thanks for watching, and remember, chronosandkin.com.